kind of sour from Chadwick Boseman's passing. That's been a big thing, but all in all, man, I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on, man.
Yeah, definitely. I apologize, man. Let me go ahead and silence my phone. You know, just seeing Black Panther with my cousin, with my older cousin, she actually wanted to go see it. It was a great bonding experience, and I think it was a great cultural experience for everyone that just wasn't someone that just followed the comic books. You know, it provided what film in my mind is supposed to do. You know, everything from, it doesn't matter what culture it is, whether it's a Greek tragedy, whether it's African deities being replicated, like some may say Superman was a replication and things like that. And now we have a character, and it's like, you know, aside from the character, there was a dope human being that was attached to that character. Aside from Black Panther, you know, he played Message from the King, which is a great movie about him chasing down people that knew about the whereabouts of his sister, which his sister had gone missing. There was that. There was Marshall, about Thurgood Marshall. You know, a lot of definite prominent roles that gave life to who we are. And you know, without saying who we aren't, I'm not even going to take it down that road, because, you know, we definitely want to shine some light on Chadwick Boseman. Just say, you know, thank you. You know, I wish I could have said thank you.
Yeah.
You know, especially for the Thurgood Marshall story.
Yeah.
For the James Brown story, hardest working man in show business.
Yeah.
You know, those aren't easy shoes to fill, Jasper.
No. You know, and people sleep, like, a lot of people talk about Black Panther a lot, but man, like, Thurgood and James Brown, like, those were some. Thurgood Marshall, like, really was a very solid acting, in my opinion. You know, Black Panther definitely was solid, but, you know, Thurgood Marshall was really solid just in the story and the acting and the character he portrayed. You know,
Right.
This is a pillar in history, you know, that he played and played very well. And then you throw James Brown in the mix. What's funny is I remember going to the movies to see James Brown, and man, like, you know, it's funny. I remember just probably a week after seeing it, just having a personal interest to look at some old videos of James Brown on YouTube. And I got to give it to you, Chadwick really nailed a lot of his mannerisms down. You know, his moves, he really nailed down, man. Like, even the infamous truck ride, you know, with him and his wig and all that stuff. He, you know, Chadwick really, you know, he had a really good way of bringing these characters to the screen. And, you know, that's something, you know, of course we saw it on Black Panther, but man, like, this guy was a really talented guy, you know, that really, you know, embodied what an actor should be. Like, an actor or actress should really be someone that can become that character. And you lose, you know, the vision of the person, and you just see James Brown, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood, you know, Black Panther. You T'Challa, you see that character. You don't see Chadwick, you know, in any of this. Right. And that was something that he really did well. You know, not too many actors and actresses can pull that off, you know, and he could do that really well.
Yeah, most definitely. Want to give a shout out to Cool Kim, aka NY Oil. He had posted a it was like a snippet of a video that was filmed on Shade 45. And he was actually up there. I believe they did a town hall or something like that. I know that they did something with everyone. Well, I'm sorry, not everyone, but a good percentage of the cast. And he was breaking down Cool Kim, that's what I'm talking about. He was breaking down how there was some foreshadowing to him speaking about his condition. Because like the way how I pictured it, the way how I seen it, it was Chadwick and it was other members of the cast. And as he started talking about some of these people, these kids that he was communicating with that had cancer, that had, that the clock was basically ticking, these poor kids. He just started breaking down from there. And with him speaking speaking of his own experiences and things like that, you could tell that it touched him in some type of way. And who knows, maybe his co-stars knew something about it, because they were working very close in proximity for a while to get this film out. And I really appreciate that he was given the privacy to deal with his pain without the paparazzi and people who I won't name directly, like jumping on it, because we didn't need that. This brother was laying bricks one brick at a time, and I think he built a beautiful legacy before his demise and everything.
Right. Yeah, man. And like you said, I think some people knew, maybe not a big circle, but I think for sure there had to be a couple people that was aware of the situation. For sure. It's kind of something when you are a person like Chadwick Boseman, and first of all, whenever anybody that gets diagnosed with cancer, and then he was actually diagnosed at stage 3 cancer, from what I've read up on in 2016.
Yeah.
And for him to be there, by then your body is kind of already taking a visual turn, for the difference that people can see. And naturally, people have questions. Hey, are you okay? So you take that into consideration and put Chadwick Boseman, this big actor that's played, some roles, then, obviously the ability to keep some privacy gets a little harder, and I feel like probably maybe from his standpoint, he didn't make everybody aware for sure, but there was definitely some key players that I think he definitely did tell. He was married. If I read my sources correctly, he actually married his wife literally before he passed. So obviously she had some awareness to it. And the best thing I can say is, like you said, you have a legacy you leave behind, and that's really what really matters in the end. The story that people can remember you by, because we all have a time. We all won't be here forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just really, it just really stings with Chadwick. That one. It was me. You called me. You like within minutes. It was like, and I ain't gonna lie, I first didn't know what you was talking about when you said Chad. I was like, who? But then when I saw the AP article, man, and Associated Press, they don't put up fake news.
Yeah, they don't fluff.
They it is what it is. When you see AP say it, that's what happened. Man, that was just a curveball in a whole nother direction that that just wasn't. I mean, you never expected, but that just really was a sting, you know.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I don't know how far this message will reach, but definitely, rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace to all of our heroes. You know what? I think that I'm humble enough to say that Chadwick Boseman was one of my heroes.
Yeah, definitely.
He entered gracefully in my eyes, and he left gracefully, and he gave us something to think about.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But other than that, moving on, I want to make sure that everybody out there watching will definitely come back through and like, comment, and subscribe to both of our channels. And you can find all that information down below. Jasper is at Jasper Films and Media. And I'm right here. If you watch me on YouTube, of course, it's Doc Freeman on YouTube. And you can, of course, also go to twitch.tv / The Real Doc Freeman Show. Anything else, you can just look in the About section, the link section. There's tons of places to look to get our information. Jasper, what else is going on right now too in the film world? I know a lot of stuff is going straight to digital, and there's other options like tonight. Actually, Black Panther. I don't even know if it's playing now, but it's supposed to play tonight. No commercials all the way through on ABC.
I was gonna mention that ABC does have that tribute. It's supposed to be commercial free. I think it is tonight.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So, I was trying to get on Twitter and see if anybody started tweeting it yet, but I haven't seen anything yet. But I believe it is definitely tonight for sure. The ABC. I know.
Let's check it out.
VMAs are definitely popping right now. That's killing Twitter amazingly. Unfortunately, it's killing Twitter. Not that that's bad, but at the end of the day, Chadwick going and Black Panther and VMAs trending over that is kind of surprising to me. But that's my personal opinion.
Bro, we'll get there. We'll get there. I don't think we're there 100%, if you know what I mean, but we'll get there.
Yeah. That's another talk for another show, another day. But yeah, man, I was.
The hashtag is actually Black Panther Watch Party. Here it is.
Okay.
Shout out to K. Sykes. If you're up here, you're the first person, which we got it from. K. Sykes. He's at Gorilla in the MST. So for those that don't know anything about Ice Cube, that type of hip hop. Ice Cube actually had a song, Gorillas in the Mist. Very cool, sir. Thank you for that. This is how I imagine everyone feels watching Black Panther on ABC with no commercials. You're damn straight.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully I can jump out there and check it out at some point. Because, it's exactly how I feel.
Yes, sir. Well, what's amazing too, and I'm looking even down the Twitter feed, I see Black Girl Nerds has that sequence,
oh, that's so dope.
I remember
that was
being
so
in
dope.
the theaters. You remember the first time you saw some of those fighting sequences, man?
Mm-hmm.
And real talk. I remember just kind of just almost kind of peeling in my chair. They are going in these fights, man. Chadwick was doing his thing, because he kind of gave people a little snippet of what he was gonna do in the prior, Avengers film when his father died. We saw some of that, but when they went in, and actually put the film together, man, I can never get this chick's name right. I'm gonna try to say this, man. Denaya, I believe it is, or Denai. She played Okoye in the
Oh,
film.
Okoye. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Okoye.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that sequence where she is with her pole, man, and running it behind her neck, and just like real talk, man. Like that's just cinema at its best right there, man. Like
And
you don't.
see, when you type in Okoye, you
Uh,
get Okoye and Shuri.
oh
I
Lord.
love that.
Yeah,
Cap turns to T'Challa.
man. T'Challa.
Okoye and Shuri stroll through the portal, and
Yeah,
everyone in the cinema loses their freaking minds. You remember that?
yeah, I remember that, man. Yeah, man.
Yo, I think I got up and I think I dapped somebody I didn't even know.
Shout out to the person he dapped, whoever you are. Oh man,
Because
yeah,
you know what, the Infinity Gauntlet was that type of story, Jasper.
yeah.
Like, even when just reading it in the comic books back in the day, I was just like, yo, I need to get this next one. And then when they just added like so much to it, just because there was so much more than what the film actually put out.
Mm.
You know, as I had mentioned, also one of the Easter eggs in this scene was seeing Howard the Duck in this scene too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And a lot of people miss that until people look back at it again. But hey, man, it's right in there.
Mm-hmm.
How the duck running, charging, man. That's funny. That was a horrible movie, man. Like,
Oh, come on, man. Howard the Duck, as a kid, come on.
well, I mean, it was
Come
as a
on.
kid, it was fun, but when you look back at it now, as a grown man, it's like, wow, like this is cheesy, you know?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. But, you know, so was Spider-Ham. Like, I knew about Spider-Ham before Enter the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Yo, I literally had a Spider-Ham comic book in German. And was just like, I don't know what they're saying, but this is cool because there's a pig in Spider-Man's costume.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't even go that far. Yeah, that hardcore on that, man. Mm.
It was, you know, it's just one of those weird things, you know, like what's another one? Like Captain Marvel.
Mm.
And you know, of course, you know, we jump into this every time we touch DC and Marvel films. So with Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, a lot of people don't know, like, you've seen the character of Carol Danvers in the Green Lantern movie. Like, she was the other pilot. And, you know, then you see her in her Marvel movie, Captain Marvel.
Mm.
That's always been something that was just like, you know what? You know, why is this showing up this way? And, you know, to be frank, like, I'm no comic book guru. I just know what I've read, what I've picked up.
Mm.
And I'm really confused to how and why she's on DC and Marvel. I don't know, but it's cool with me. But I'm just kind of confused with that.
Yeah. Interesting fact, though, and there's been one human being actually to beat Superman. Actually, and it was in the comic books. There was actually one human being that beat Superman.
Let them know about it, Jasper.
Muhammad Ali.
That's right. That's right. Let me pull up the picture.
Muhammad Ali was actually the only human being in the comic books that's amazing. I wonder, it would be kind of cool if Marvel ever brought that out to the light. But like, but real talk, that was the only human. Like, that's amazing, man. But you know, you think about it. You know, Muhammad Ali was like superhuman, man. This guy.
They have this comic book
You pulling
on
it up
South
now?
Street in Philadelphia, and guess where you can also get it? See, we like to do fact checks here because this is real. It's really real.
Yeah.
So if you look here, not this, and no, we don't sponsor that part. So if you look here, Superman versus Muhammad Ali, straight up, that's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one. I walked by a store on South Street in Philadelphia, and I seen that in there. I actually have a picture of it through the window, and I was just like, wow, yo, I need to check this out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. See what they should have done in Batman versus, in Justice League. What they should have done was had
bring Will Smith. Yo, great minds think alike, my brother. Yo, that would have been dope.
That would have been dope. You know,
I'm gonna whoop your butt, just like I should have really whooped Joe Frazier's butt.
Hey, you ugly.
From Krypton. What type of place is that? It sounds like something that you get when you scratch too much.
Yeah, man. Funny enough, we were talking about fact checks. I just was curious to see what Rotten Tomatoes gave Howard the Duck. It's so sad. They gave Howard the Duck a cold 15%, man. And then IMDb gave it a 4.7 out of 10. Yeah, that film just wasn't a good one, man.
So you know what? You know what's dope about that? This is an even better segue where we can stay on film for a little bit but go into gaming. Because check this out. Howard the Duck at least was not worse than the E.T. the game.
Oh, well.
Even the creator of E.T. the game was like, yo, this shit stinks.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, well, the thing is, too, man, like, back then, there was, like, a unspoken but living rule that if you made a film,
right, you
had to make a game for it. And that was kind of like the downfall of some of the best films. You know, like it even I even go back to, you know, even some of the early Microsoft computer games. Like I remember having Lion King on my Windows 98 computer, you know, along with Toy Story and you know some of the other Disney films. And so what's crazy is, you know, these were games that were made supposedly to, I guess, to boost the sales of the film and tell the story, but they weren't always great games. So I don't know who thought of that idea and said this just has to be, but E.T. is an example of it. Like literally in between missions you see the little golden finger going. You know, like it was just a lost cause, man. It was a lost cause. There was a Michael Jackson game actually.
Yeah, Moonwalker was dope, man.
That was fun though. That was the fight scenes with
not the arcade version, the Genesis version.
Yeah, the Sega Genesis version. That was, but the arcade version just was really, the arcade version was kind of like the Sega, but they didn't have like all the missions on there. It was kind of like a cutout from some of the main missions on there. All right, but good one actually. That was a good game.
So I'm gonna go over a couple of things right now, Jasper, if you don't mind. And I apologize, guys, if that came in too loud. So
I used to want to be a teacher.
I gotta make a cool announcement, man. So you know how different distribution services, they release their originals. So YouTube, I guess it's YouTube Red or YouTube Movies. They have one of Cobra Kai, and it's now on Netflix. It's actually in the top 10 right now. For everybody watching on the screen here, it is in the top 10. I've watched it already. And me, see, I'm biased. The Karate Kid, like all of them. Even the third one. Yes, even the third one. I'm a fan of all those films. Part 2 was my favorite, and I do like the one with Jaden Smith. I thought that was very thoughtful and a really cool flick.
I was glad Jackie Chan was in that for sure.
Jackie Chan is
he's a legend by all means. And then too, here's the other thing: Jackie Chan literally is not just all kung fu. Like he really is a good actor, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, to have him in that with Jaden, I think that was a really good one for sure.
So here's another thing too. And let me get out of here too, because you guys actually got to see the typo on my account here. As far as names, but Cobra Kai is in the top 10. The Netflix originals that they're putting out on their splash page. There's that. There's another one called The Sleepover. It looks like a G-rated, maybe like a family film, something like The Suit or The Tuxedo, whichever one that is, with Jackie Chan. Speaking of Jackie Chan, I think it's kind of like one of those spy espionage flicks. And that's up there. She's Gotta Have It. That's of course is made off of a Spike Lee joint. And with that, they made a series. If you know what it's about, cool. For those that don't know, She's Gotta Have It is basically talking about polyamorous relationships, and it takes it from the viewpoint of a black woman, which is it's pretty controversial, but I think it's kind of cool because you get to start seeing I guess you could say the personalities of the different men and stuff in there that she's dealing with. And it's just like, you get to look at it, and for some of us, it's just like, damn, I got played. And then there's some of us as well where it's just like, okay, I see where I played at. Rather, I would say we all can see where we played at. In this 3-ring circle when it comes to different types of relationships. So I think that there's a lot of cool things you can get from that film itself. But it's a Spike Lee joint. That's all you really got to say about it. And then I'm gonna stop on Hoops. Hoops is just like it's in the top 10, but it's one of those. It's not for everybody. It's one of those raunchy comedy. I guess you could say it's kind of like The Family Guy. If The Family Guy were more from the aspect of, what's my man's name? The Red Grange, Al Bundy. Yeah, so it's that type of raunchy. But yeah, again, if you guys are checking this video out a little bit later on, definitely want to go back here and plug that you go like, comment, and subscribe to not only just this channel, but my brother Jasper the FIlmie, his channel at Jasper Films and Media. So that's all I got on that part, man. I know I got a little long-winded, man. I can do that.
You definitely was plugging, some good stuff that people should go out and check out, man. It was funny. Yeah. We were talking about Quibi last time, I think, when we were on the show. And right now, what's trending? I saw it on Twitter just now. It's actually a series called The Stranger that's on Quibi. It's actually currently trending #1 on Twitter. So
really,
yeah. So literally, that's got my eyes interested to see what that's all about for sure. And considering all things, I see people are really kind of engaging with it. So that might be. We were just literally talking about this last show, so that might just be the answer. I know Kevin Hart also did something on Quibi, Die Hard for sure. So that's
I think there's somewhere else where somebody else did a film. One of my favorite actors, Wesley Snipes, he has a movie on one of these independent distribution. Wesley Snipes. Let me say this, and thank you for plugging that too, because I know we had a semi in-depth conversation about Quibi and yeah.
I mean, it's hanging in there. That's the best I can say, man. Well,
I want to keep my dollar rotating. I want to keep it rotating to where it can build some equity.
I mean, we're gonna see where it goes, man. There's there's a culture that's at least embracing it, but you know, at the same time, it's the future for it is kind of spotty. It's kind of like it's like TikTok, for example. Well, TikTok's in a different spot, but TikTok is loved, but the access to TikTok is questionable. So literally, that's where we just we just kind of have to see what the story is gonna be for Quibi,
Nevertheless, it's if that's the only place where I could check out some of the film and support some of the people that I love to support, I'll do it. Like, and here's another plug, Jasper. After you finish your point, because I don't want to cut you off on that. I've got these bookmarks.
Fine, man. You good? Because I mean, it could be something that I can go on for a long time about, and I don't feel like it's even worth it. I just I don't know, man. I just feel like right now there's definitely a need for some more real good content on Quibi. That's my stance on it. I feel like there's a lot of platforms that are doing well right now that Quibi needs to compete against.
Yeah.
And right now, content, you just named off Netflix and some of the stuff that's on there. Netflix is a monster. Disney Plus is a monster. And Disney Plus hasn't been in the space that long, and look how big they've become. Look at the people that are going to Disney Plus. Beyonce just put out her film on that.
Man, give some proper respects to the Queen Beyonce. That was dope.
Here's the deal. Like, literally, think about that. Why does she choose Disney over Quibi? I mean, the audience is obviously going to be there on Disney, and that's kind of where Quibi is. If they're trying to win these battles, they really are gonna have to put some good fighting. Like I said, Kevin has his thing on there, Die Hard, which is giving them fighting chances, and then this series here, Stranger, is doing well, but they're in a space right now.
Mm-hmm.
The way digital content is, especially with COVID-19, like right now, if you are a digital film distributor or digital content distributor right now, you are literally fighting probably at the most demanded time in digital content distribution history, because people are now, it helps you get engagement, but people are now in need of finding content because we can't go out to the movies. We have to stay home and watch the stuff from our phones or laptops. So if you don't have content that's engaging on there, don't expect people to stay on that platform. You will get the boost in the engagement now because people are looking for everything, but if there's nothing there, they're just going to go to the next app and put your app in the iCloud, if you got an iPhone.
So we were supposed to have a special guest tonight, Jasper, and I think he might be joining us in a little bit. So what I wanted to do, we're not going to take an intermission, but I'm going to step. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. I'm not going anywhere. But I just wanted to let you know about what was actually happening while I was looking down. Wanted to give you the respects towards that. Okay. Yeah, it looks like he's having some problems getting on here.
Okay.
We're gonna try to reel him in. So what I'm gonna do is try to reel him in here. We can multitask though. We can multitask. You can do it. Let's see here. But to your point, like the competition, it's the business model, man. Like it's capitalism. It's the model of capitalism. Let me put it to you that way. That's something that we can say, because without having the right amount of money and financing, because you don't always have to have liquid cash, to get set up straight. You just gotta know how to do creative financing and stuff like that. And I hope that the people that are in the right positions that know how to do these things can help people that have like not even just help people, just give them that quick push. Give them that quick push. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just a share, a retweet, a like, comment, a subscribe. Nah, just kidding, but. Things like that is what it takes, because sometimes all it is someone that has the same vision to see what you're doing to get there, and that's it. I always go back to this quote that I seen through a meme, mind you, and it's through Chris Rock. Basically, paraphrasing, you got to be pushing the car, and people got to see you pushing the car. They got to see you doing the work before they're gonna jump in and just be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna hand you a contract, or I'm gonna set up this meeting, because meetings are big. People don't have a lot of time, and when they take some time out of their schedule, you don't know what they're doing. I mean, they like from the home front to the office. So that's my rant. I'm going to shut up for a second. I'm going to try to get our guest on here. Jasper, you got the floor wherever you need. Don't you have a few things that you want to plug as well?
Well, man, I mean, of course, Birthday Bash is coming up this Thursday, September 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern, Station Head app. That's, the biggest thing that's pressing right now. And, of course, RSVPs are still open. They're free to RSVP, but the benefit, obviously, in RSVPing is that chance to win that nice $150 Amazon gift card that right now a lot of people are starting to kind of get a little competitive by, because when you sign up, you actually can share that link and get another submission counted towards you having chances of winning. So that's a big deal. And like I mentioned in the last show, I'll mention it again. The way you RSVP is by going to my Instagram page, JASPRDEWYTT, clicking on the link tree in the bio, and you'll see Jasper's B-Day, where you can RSVP. And once you do that, you get that submission. And it's gonna be fun. Like I said, it's gonna be some music, and there's gonna be other prizes too. I got some other giveaways, so that won't be the only one. But yeah, obviously now that 150 Amazon gift card is definitely something a lot of people are. I got somebody that texted me the other day and said, "Is this for real?" I was like, "Yeah, it's for real. Like there will be a gift card giveaway of $150 for sure." And that's just my way of also kind of showing, it's not coming out of my pocket, it's coming out of my brand partners, but that's also my way of just kind of saying thank you, showing support, and kind of being there with me,
Dope. And you guys just seen it. I just took you guys to Jasper's IG page. Make sure you follow him as well. This brother right here, as far as putting together meaningful communications that and just meaningful events just like this is networking. This isn't just like a typical like party, like a house party or something like that, or a corona or a COVID party. Like he's actually investing something into it, just extending the olive branch, if you want to put it that way. There's many different ways to put it, but he's definitely put me on a couple things that I didn't know, and that's all part of brothership or fellowship, if you just want to call it that way.
Thank you.
So show up, show out. If you're using, I don't know if you plug this part, but if you're using an Android device, he will be able to supply you with the link as well. So make sure that if you can't get to it and you're interested, don't give up, don't panic. Just send a message, be a DM, be email, whatever's provided on the website / profile.
Yeah. So when they actually, matter of fact, to your point, so when they actually RSVP, they actually will get it should be an automatic email, where they will get that link, emailed to them if they have an Android device or whatnot to tune in and still listen. So you would, like he said, you still would be counted, and you still have that chance to listen in and tune in for it. So you're not ruled out. Right now, like, Station Head is at the moment only on iOS, but it's still available via the web, and that link is shared after you RSVP. So you're not out the whirlwind. So just bear that in mind. And like you said, like I'm just kind of one that I love the network in general. That's always been my MO. And it's something when great minds could find other great minds, because when great minds come together, great things happen. That was fresh off the dome just now, by the way. but it's true, man. Like, literally think about but seriously, think about the last time you saw a group of dumb people come together and then something great came out of that. I mean,
I'm not gonna see. I'm quick with it. I could have said something, but we don't sway towards one way or the other. The pendulum doesn't sway one way or the other towards here. But I had something already loaded, Jasper. You know.
Oh man, yeah, man. So yeah.
But you're right. You're absolutely right.
Oh man, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
So we're still trying to get our guest here. If anything, it's hard to really see where everybody is watching from at this moment, because there's something quirky going on with the viewers and the views and stuff like that. But also, just know, definitely do remember that you can follow on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere. Like, actually, you could just Google. You Google the both of us. You Google Doc Freeman. You could Google Jasper Films and Media, Jasper the FIlmie.
Yeah.
Like you could do that if you want to get in contact with us. Seriously. Speaking of a serious matter, circulating. Let me bring it closer so that there's no dip out in the audio. Circulating that dollar through the community, through every community. But that the work has to start somewhere. This is talking to everybody. This is talking to human beings. This isn't cold speech just for one people. There's the people that like we were saying before, networking. If you work well with others, there's a lot of different terms. There's group economics. There's one of the coolest books that I've read, Freakonomics. There's a lot of value in networking, and if we can all pull together and we can show that we actually do have some love for our neighbor, those that go off those code words and stuff like that, like no shame to anybody, then we'll all see it. Then we'll all see the bigger picture. We'll see the bigger picture. But nonetheless, make sure y'all show up at Jasper's show. And what's that date again, Jasper?
September 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern. My birthday bash.
There it is.
There you go.
Hey, and the music queued up too.
Game time.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So if anything, let's do this. We have I think we have some shout outs to give. You got anybody you want to give shout outs to? I always want to give people shout outs because you know I'm grateful for the assistance, for the networking. You know, just for the alliance. You know, just dope people. First off, I'll definitely say, you know, thanks to you, Jasper. You know, you've definitely kept it a buck with me for a good amount of time. It's been like almost 2 years so far.
It's been about 2 years, man. Definitely, man. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. And
thank you, man. Definitely. Likewise to you, man. You've been a good friend and brother on my end, man. I know a lot has changed in 2 years, man, and it's but you know, hey, man, you know, sometimes when things change, that means that there's something that's getting ready to happen. So
right, absolutely.
You know, hey, you know, the pictures don't always have to be the same color, you know.
No.
And nor do they have to be the same canvas or message, man. But definitely, man, I think, you know, overall, just finding someone like I was saying earlier, you know, finding someone you can network and collab with is definitely, you know, something powerful. You know, and I encourage it for anybody, you know, whatever level you're at, you know, to find someone that you can, you know, come to agreement with. That's a big deal, you know, because this day and age, everybody has disagreements. That's the agreement for a lot of people, but to be able to come to somebody that you can agree with and share, you know, something, you know, or thoughts with them, I think that's a big deal, you know. And I'm glad I got that, you know.
Yeah. No doubt, absolutely. So, like I said, man, you know, it's amazing, man. You know, the power of networking. Like, if I was not more open to being at like certain events and at certain platforms and stuff, we probably never would have even met.
No, I probably wouldn't have. You know, it's kind of, it's just as simple. You know, I think also too, you know, sometimes you know, people, you know, are placed in certain paths for whatever reason, but sometimes they're placed in the past for some reason, you know, and they may not always last forever, but you know, I think at the end of the day, things happen for a reason, you know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. And if you're watching right now, again, you know, definitely plugging it. You know, please like, comment, and subscribe. That is for our live viewers. For those of you that are watching on the flip side and watching the pre-recorded show, make sure that you follow us on our social media accounts. And if you would like to come up sometime and actually tell us your story or tell us about your brand, your product, your service, and you know what your vision is with it, you know, we would definitely like to have you. You could email either one of us. Look for that information in our about section or in the website section. Or if you can find us, which I'm pretty sure you can, you know, we've pretty much plugged all of our information somewhere, and would like to talk to us or with us, you know, power in words, you know, everybody likes to use stuff different. You know, go ahead and hit us up. You know, one of the hardest things I'd say here, Jasper, is in the world is just really just staying in the lane that we were meant to be in. Like finding it, acknowledging it, and then staying in it.
Mm-hmm.
And You know, this is another part of my shout. This is the second part of my shout out. Shout out to you for that. Shout out to you for that, because you know, I didn't wake up and was just like, you know what, I want to work in this field.
Right.
And then it happened. It
Yeah.
was happenstance, because it was just like, okay, well, I know how to do this, you know how to manipulate objects, yada yada yada, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool, this is easy. Yeah, sure, I'll do this. This fits. This is my niche.
Mm.
And your niche and you, like, it fits perfectly, congruently. You know, so definitely shout out for that, and
Thank you,
for
sir.
including me in that journey, man. Because you've taught me some really cool things when it's come to the visual side of things, and a little bit more, We're gonna keep building on that. We're definitely gonna keep building on that.
You know, I appreciate it. I think probably, man, you know, it's amazing how, you know, first actual experience I had in media, you know, I was in elementary school and I was a part of this media club. And we used to do the morning news for our school. And we would take turns. The teacher, I remember his face. I can't remember his name. He used to wear these tight jeans all the time, man. I can't think of his name. Those jeans were tight, man. Like, they're so tight that they're making me uncomfortable now.
How tight were they?
But anyway, I can't think of this man's name to save my life. But anyway, we used to take turns. You know, one day I would be on the camera.
Yeah.
And then the next day I would be on the desk. Then the next day I would be the co-anchor. Then it would just circulate, you know. And what's funny is we even used to edit. But this is amazing, because around this time was when computer editing was replacing the original form of editing with actual film. And, you know, if you ever edit video and you see people cutting the actual sequences, that actually represents the actual physical process of what editing used to be, cutting the film and splicing it together. That's how it used to work. And so you know, this was in the 90s, so this was kind of at a point where that was phasing out and people were using computers to do it. But yeah, that was kind of like my first exposure. And you know, I can't say that, you know, I always had done that, you know, in my life, but it always stuck with me, and it was always something that, you know, I always felt like was me, you know. Got over. And just kind of when you can kind of find something that's you, and you just kind of feel right at home with it, then that's kind of where when you try to do other things, nothing else will work. You know, it's kind of like, you know, that's just kind of who you are, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, the thing now where I'm at now is just being able to be me and make myself be a better me with what I have, you know. And
I think a dope comparison with that, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman.
Like, yeah, like, seriously, because like if you really break it down, how many people were really recruited just for rebounding back then? And playing defense.
Well, think about that in basketball in general. Like, literally, you got guys that was great 3-point shooters. You had guys that were big men. You had guys that, you know,
could just dish the ball off and run the plays, like Jason Kidd. In my opinion, probably top 5 point guards that I've ever been able to see play of anyone, because he that was his role, that was his game, and he played with it. It wasn't like, all right, this evolved, and it was just like, no, I'm gonna stick to what's textbook. I'm gonna do it. This is my job. Anything else is just extras. As long as I just do my job and do it 1,000%, if I decide to dunk it one time, people are gonna go crazy. Like, oh shit, I didn't know he could dunk. That's you know how it is, because that's how I was the first time I seen him dunk. I was just like, oh, I just didn't think you had any bunnies.
Oh man, that's amazing. You know what's amazing? There was a documentary on National Geographic. They actually love in Korea. Kim Jong-un actually loves Dennis Rodman. Like,
yeah, I seen that.
Where he actually invited the man over to watch a basketball game. You know, like he really loves that guy. Like that's kind of eerily weird, but kind of cool too. Like,
yeah,
like it's
cool to be liked by somebody that a lot of people don't like, and it's just like you figure out that they're actually a cool person from what he says. You know, it's kind of
like
y'all full of shit. Like, this dude's cool.
But think about that too. This is, I don't know how I would feel.
Yeah,
like that's like, you know, getting a phone call from, you know, I don't know, like it would be just that awkward getting a phone call from him. Hey Jasper, man, I love your films. Can you come over to Korea? Maybe. like, you know, it's kind of like, the thing is, you think about it, like, allegedly this guy is responsible for some.
I ain't going nowhere that I got to get put on a watch list. I'm already on it. You and me are already on the watch list. I'm not going anywhere like that.
Like, you know, man, like, real talk. Like, yeah, Kim, you cool peoples and all, but I know what you are. I know what you are. Oh man, but hey, you know, like you said, that is, I guess, cool in that sense. But to see that was kind of interesting, man. You know, I encourage anybody, you know, this is my rant, you know, something that I loved doing and I kind of got away from it, but I always love watching documentaries, man. I love watching, you know, honestly, some of the World War I documentaries, then, you know, the black and white ones where the film is so grainy and faded to the point you start to, you know, I actually love watching those, because a lot of times it's funny because for one, you get to learn about history, but then you get to also, if you really pay close attention, there's a lot of things that happen then that's happening now. Like, you know, history is just the mirror of today. We see a lot of people, you know, that are acting in certain ways today that embodied another person's personality before in the past, and a lot of times we do sometimes the same thing. You know, and it's like we don't learn from it. So I like watching history for that, you know, very cause. I like watching a lot of those documentaries. I like watching a lot of space documentaries, believe it or not. You know, there's still a weird part of me that
you're one of those guys that watches Nova like I do.
I watch Nova, man. Okay. Like, I watch Nova. Sometimes I watch, you know, Our Galaxy, and like it's kind of weird for some reason why it's almost kind of like a seductive part of it, where it's like I can't help but am kind of curious by it, you know.
Right.
Don't know why I'm interested in it, you know. But I would say this: if somebody ever said, Jasper, would you go to Mars? I would probably say, yeah. That's weird, right? But I would probably hop on that rocket, man.
I mean, why would you jump out and just say no at first anyway, though? Right. I mean, I think there's probably this is gonna sound ignorant, wild, crazy, and everything, but there's probably a better reason and more people that have traveled to Mars than to, I guess you could say, the current North Vietnam. I'm sorry, right. North Korea. I apologize, North Korea. There's a difference between North Vietnam and North Korea.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll put it to you this way, man. I see enough here. I know how things are.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, man, maybe it might be quiet up there. Let me, let's see what it looks. But yeah,
I mean, it'll definitely be quiet, like anywhere in space, basically.
Yeah, but miles, man.
here's the thing, like being able to inhabit somewhere else, like there's so much to worry about, man. Like, see, we're going off into that rabbit hole now, and I love it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love these conversations that we have because, see, here's the thing. By no means am I an astrophysicist or anything like that, but from what I heard, what I understand, is your particles expand in space.
Oh yeah, it's total death. It by all means, the human body and the radiation exposure and everything else that
Yeah,
you would be a light bulb when you're done.
yeah. Like all
Yeah,
of those cosmic rays and everything, just like we barely know what's going on here. Like, think about it. Like, we're in the middle of a pandemic to where we're telling people, like, yo, you know, it's just even like, let's take it steps back further than that. We tell people that you should cover your mouth and
yeah.
cover your nose when you sneeze and when you cough.
Mm.
There's been so many people that won't even do that.
Yeah, that's the sad part. And then too, like some of this stuff is just kind of seriously common sense. Like, the other day I was I was
Just
at
practical awareness.
I was at like the sub place. It wasn't like a franchise. It was like a local mom and pop type sub, but they make good subs.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually went there because the owners there are really clean. They were always clean. They were clean before the pandemic, So like these guys, you go into their business, they got the signs on the door. We're only letting 3 people in at a time. You stand in this area right here, 6 feet apart, and then when we call you, you come up to the thing in order. But like, these are good, clean people. So that's why I went there, because I could trust that, because quite honestly, it had been a long time since I've eaten from a restaurant, since the pandemic. So I figured, at some point I'm gonna have to live life. So I figure if I'm gonna start with them because I know they're clean. So I go there, and this dude walks in through the door, no mask on. First off, he walks in through the door, no mask on, and just see this guy is like strolling like he's like balls out, like literally just balls in the door.
Now hold up, now you can't just present it that way, because sometimes people do literal crazy shit like that.
Well, let me put it. He comes in like not like that, but he comes in pretty boldly, and then the owner, well, it's a couple that owns the business, and she says, "Excuse me, sir, in order to come in here, you need to have a mask." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that COVID thing." It's like, dude, like, where have you been for the past almost 5 months now? Like, hey man, haven't you heard the word? Like, people are dying, man. Matter of fact, like, if like, don't come near me because you might get slapped. like real. I mean, and then on top of that, it's like, dude, you're walking in a restaurant, man. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a place where food's being served, where people have to congregate at you know at a greater amount of people in one space.
yeah,
That seems like the hardest thing out of this whole it's crazy. This whole pandemic is just getting people to stay home. Like, not like just stay locked up and never go anywhere, but just to be cautious, to be mindful. It's just wild, man.
yeah. It's bringing out. Well, here's the thing. You got the people that are mindful, and then you have the people that are just flat out anxious. That and there's nothing wrong. Because the anxiousness is a natural human response. The problem is when you are too anxious, or have where it starts to kind of control you and get the best of you, and that's when it becomes a problem. But like for certain things, like I said, like I knew off the bat that if I decided to choose a restaurant, I would choose them because of just the practices they showed me over the years of being clean. And that was a portion of my mindfulness in that matter. Somebody else that may have a different opinion about the public, may not even touch food from anybody else,
Right.
and if they do touch it, it's going to be let's just say a hectic process to clean it and eat it. So I mean,
Yeah, not everybody eats everybody's food. I know when I was young, I was definitely raised that way. And sometimes I'm just like, but damn, it smells so good,
I know, right? Well, I'm not a picky eater on my end. My thing is if it looks edible, smells good, and it looks cooked, then you got me. Now if I'm starting to get into the meat and I'm seeing red and blood and everything else, and then like, okay, all right.
Yeah, some people like it very, very rare. Super rare.
That are just alive, like literally.
Yeah.
This is more than rare, bro. Like the thing just moved on my plate, like literally, like yeah. But like the octopuses, like you ever see octopuses?
Oh no, I'm good on that, man.
Yeah.
I don't want no goddamn cracking in my stomach.
No.
It probably, like, I'm very open to a lot of different things, but when it comes to like calamari and just like octopus, squid things
calamari,
with tentacles, I'm good.
I've had that calamari. It's not too bad.
I tried it. Yeah, I mean I tried it. It's just I try to prepare, more than 2 ways. And I was just like, you know what, I'm not feeling this. It's like, it's like chewing on a whole bunch of like rubber bands with seasoning.
Yeah, it is rubbery, man.
Yeah, like I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it, man. One of the craziest things that I ate was kangaroo, though. Ever tell you about that?
Oh, you got me on that one. I haven't had any kangaroo jack, man. I didn't know that they
actually
would serve
good.
that. Actually, like I would be under the impression that would be like a protected animal or so, but
nah, there's tons of them.
Oh wow,
there's tons of them. Yeah, well, you probably can't do it too many different places, but I don't know, the ins and outs on that. But I do know that when I was in Brisbane, I had some, and it was freaking delicious.
Wow.
It tastes like steak, just prepared by like, I don't know, like emerald or something.
Oh, man.
it was one of the most delicious dishes I had, and they only cut like a small strip.
Wow,
it was like $20 plate, and it was like I think it was $20. It might have been like 20, 25, but it was like a small strip, and it filled me up. Yeah, it filled me up. There wasn't a lot of fat on it.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was lean. It was good.
Yeah, usually those meats that are expensive like that are usually like pure meat, no fat, clean shaven and all that. Yeah, you got me wondering. I'm gonna have to try that if I can, COVID willing. Yeah.
Now I got to put a disclaimer because I don't know who will watch this at any time. I see we got some viewers on the live chat. Thank y'all for for joining in and everything. Please like, comment, subscribe, also share. Tell some people to come down. We were supposed to have a special guest tonight. They're having some issues due to the storm. That's what I forgot to mention to Jasper. Yeah. So we're not going to just mention him just yet. We're going to keep that for a surprise and see what happens. Because, yeah, they had some issues with the power and, it's tough. We got storms going on in different areas, different regions of the United States right now, and some areas are hit very badly, and some of us are just getting a little bit of rain. So definitely, my well wishes to everyone dealing with this right now. I know it can be pretty serious and even scary during these times. But yeah, back to what we were talking about. So yeah, as far as different foods and stuff like that, as far as it being protected, disclaimer: I did not hunt this animal. PETA, Like seriously, you know, all of these different places. I did not hunt this animal. This animal was served to me at a restaurant the same as which a cow would be. Okay, or you know, there's other animals that I don't eat, but you know, a cow or a lamb or a goat or something like that was So, but yeah, it was delicious, man. Yeah, and I plan on, you know, trying different things. What's something that you've always wanted to try, or that you tried that you could say is, you know, probably a really cool dish, or maybe even just a side? Because I'm a sides guy.
So I tried. This was served to me too at a restaurant. It was actually shark, actually.
Really?
Yeah, man. And it tastes really good, to be honest with you. The person deep fried it, and it just was immaculate. You know, like really, that was probably something that I tried that I was happy I tried because it was really good. Um, yeah, man. Other than that, man, I can't think of anything else that really sticks out to me, man. That is worth bragging about saying I tried, man.
I mean, if it's something that you just enjoyed, man. I mean, shit, it could be. You know, I make a big deal about Entenmann's. You've ever had Entenmann's?
You got me on that one, man. See, like you actually got a bigger list than me. Uh, like I've probably have gotten a little bit more reserved these days, but I haven't had any Entenmann's. I wanted to try some. That's kind of like on the list, man. It's kind of like a thing where you want to go to the places where you know they're going to be good at. Neither, you know, you don't want to go to a place where they're going to serve, where they're going to freeze them and then warm them up and serve them to you. You know, you want them fresh and warm and hot. You know.
Mm-hmm. So deep fried shark, Jasper.
Yeah, that was probably. And I still remember even like the way it looked on the plate. It looked good too. That was the other thing. Like it really looked good, you know. And I remember sticking in my little plastic fork to that thing, man, and cutting it. I was like, "Dang, this thing good."
So did you have a to-go plate?
That I did have a to-go plate, but I killed the shark. The only thing I had left was like maybe the sides, the fries, and a few other things. But the actual meat itself, yeah, that didn't go anywhere but in my stomach, man.
What was the texture like? Was it like, because you can't just say fish is fish, because halibut tastes different, tuna tastes different, salmon tastes different, porgy, sea, like it all tastes different and it has different textures.
Yeah.
So how would you describe it?
All right, so like literally, if you ever had a pompano before, you know, then I would so like a pompano, like if a Florida pompano, like fillet is a thick fillet. You know, it's kind of like a steak in water. It's kind of like how the sharks is. You know, the actual meat underneath the skin. You know, because you're not eating the skin because the skin is actually pretty rough. You literally it's skinned, and then you're eating the actual meat that's underneath that skin. Like that meat is really thick, but I'm guessing the magic of is cooking it to the point where it gets tender enough to eat, and then cooking it well enough to the point where it's good enough to fry is probably the magic in it. And this person, you know, he was from Trinidad. I was in Florida.
I knew it. I knew it was a black person that cooked that.
Yeah, yeah, man. I was in Florida, man, and this guy, he was from Trinidad.
I love it though. Yeah.
And he whopped it up, man. Well, I'm sorry I said the word wop. Obviously, wop has a different meaning these days, but
oh man.
But yeah, fixed it up, man. I mean, it was good. He killed that, man.
So it was kind of like, so you said it was more like how a pompano, like if you were looking at a steak. So it's kind of like when you get a tuna steak, then.
Kind of like a tuna steak, a little bit, you know.
I can deal with that.
Because a tuna steak isn't, you know, because most of the time, if you look at tuna,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, like when you're actually in a restaurant eating tuna, and not like the canned tuna, when you're actually eating that tuna steak in a restaurant, that's pretty thick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing like the mahi.
Yeah,
Like
it's not.
that's just like it's all like ground up in a sense, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But the steaks, like you could make a whole burger out of that. So you could have made a shark burger out of that.
Well, I think he even mentioned people make burgers out of them.
Man, come on.
I mean, like those steaks though, like literally, and then too those. Well, I don't know how much it costs, you know, because he was just kind of just putting me on to something, just made me a plate or something, and then I didn't pay him anything, and he loves to cook, so that was the other benefit I got to eat it for free. But
Nice.
but like I imagine, like like tuna steaks aren't cheap, and neither.
No.
I mean, like just I don't know what the cost per pound is, but like man, you got like if you ever watch like any of those deep sea fishing shows, like you got guys that get like $800 off of one fish, and that's on the moderate size one.
Bro, 800.
Yeah.
I seen them catch like what's it called? Wild tuna. I think that's the name of the show. And it's cool because I got to see the whole process. I'm pretty sure you've seen this too.
Mm.
They caught one. They got like 30 grand for it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
One fish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that was like 800 would be a moderate one. Like literally, that would be like a little one that we could catch. So like, just imagine these guys are getting like.
Man, the hell with that. I'm no master fisherman. I can swim my ass off. I can dive. But fishing, I'm okay.
Here's the other thing: the stuff they go through to get them fish, though, man. Like, like that's the part where it's like pretty hardcore, man. Like I remember one show I was watching, and the guy fell on the deck. It was wet as always, and he fell down and broke like something in his leg. When he fell down, and then something happened where like the other guy was sick and had like some infection in his hand or something. It's like it's kind of crazy, but these guys kind of go through some stuff, man. And it was kind of nasty too. It was like his pieces of his skin was peeling off with his glove and all that. It was, yeah, it was pretty rough. Yeah, man. Because we were obviously wearing gloves because he's, working on the boat or whatever. But yeah, man, it's pretty hardcore.
I think
yeah.
People have theories about, how we can adapt to certain things, but that'll show you right there when it comes to being out at the sea, if it had something to do with that exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, there's so much between the whole Mars and the being at sea thing. I think we know more about space than we do about the ocean.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. Like, well, James Cameron a couple years ago, I think he did a documentary on Discovery going in the trench. What is it? It starts with the M. The
Mariana Trench.
Yeah, Mariana Trench. I think he was like the first human being or so to actually plunge to that depth or whatever. I think, and it was through Discovery, but it's actually pretty interesting because like I remember the documentary in my head now, and it's like literally it looks like a foreign planet. Like when you get down there to the very bottom, like it's pretty crazy.
Man, there's some people that are built for this, man. Like different cultures that do this stuff without all of that gear and decompressing and going through all this stuff that you have to. I think you may have seen this. I may have shared this to you. You may have shared it to me. But there was a guy I was watching on, I think it was National Geographic People. This dude went down. I think he held his breath for about 9 to 12 minutes.
Oh Lord.
And I seen him go beyond where you could see the rock was so smooth that it was just like layers, like somebody just cut it in sections.
Oh man.
You know, like flat, like a flat 90 degrees each way. And he went beyond that, and there was like ice and snow and whatnot. And I'm like,
oh Lord.
It looked like he went through like a mirror. It was like these different pockets of these areas, and then there was like a ship that had sunk from years ago. I'm like, yo, this guy's really getting down there with no equipment for one, and just look at the terrain and everything.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, man.
But you know, to your point, there's certain stuff that I just don't want to see because, like I said, like I'm not into eating the calamari, the octopus, the squid, the kraken, whatever you want to call it. And I don't want to tussle with one down there either because I'd rather face a shark than an octopus. Just 100%. Like they're, I wouldn't say that one is more intelligent than the other, but an octopus can really get in stuff. Think of just a snake. Like something like a python, how it can wrap itself around you and break your arm or something like that. An octopus can squeeze in different stuff. I don't even want to paint the vivid picture here.
Then too, like I think their suction things have like barbs in them.
Yeah,
too. Like,
they do.
So that's not only is it sucking the life out of you, it's like
probably putting something in you too.
That's just that's not where I'm headed.
Nope.
Like literally. And then I think it has 3 hearts too. Like if
2 brains, I believe.
Oh Lord, like something like that. You try killing, you're gonna have to kill that thing more than once because like if it has 3 hearts and 2 brains, you can kill one of them hearts and it could be like, yep, I still got a couple others. like you know,
something like that. I just don't even, we don't even have a problem. But if it try to start squeezing in spaces and nah, man, at that point, I might have to eat it because I might go wild and just like bite it or something just to get it off me. No, seriously, man. Like I seen one of these things go through something like under a door or something like that. It was on this boat. They just let one out of the cooler, just for shits and giggles. And this thing was squeezing through the smallest spaces, like it was a field mouse. Nah, I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that.
That's amazing, man. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I know my limitations, brother. But we actually went over a little bit tonight, y'all. To those that's in that are viewing right now, definitely appreciate y'all for stopping by. Of course, you see the new ticker. We're getting some new designs and stuff in here too. Like we've been rehabbing every once in a while, just try to keep it fresh and add some different things in there, just to keep everybody on task of what we're doing so that you can see our work. Because believe it or not, aside from just this and just us having regular discourse, us chopping it up, us having interviews and stuff like that, we have a whole list of things that we have to do and have to maintain on the daily. So we appreciate y'all just stopping by to bear witness to us just putting the work forward and us getting out and pushing the car. So with that being said, I think I'm about ready to close out. Jasper, you got anything that you want to lead out with?
Yeah, bro. Enjoyed it.
Likewise, man. Every time, man. Don't forget, September 3rd, Jasper B-Day Bash.
Yes.
And you can get that. Let me go pull it up for you. You can get that right here. See, I did that just like magic. I'm getting all right with this. It's all because of my brother Jasper right here.
Nah,
See,
man.
enter to win a $150 Amazon gift card. Go ahead and follow him on IG. You can get this information. I'm sure you guys are already there because if you're watching it, it's definitely through a device like a phone, a tablet, and maybe you're watching it on your computer, which should make it easier. Well, getting back to it, I have nothing else. And it's definitely getting late. That's one of my favorite songs by Marsha Ambrosia. You know, big shout out to her too. So yeah, we'll jump back on it. Tomorrow we may be redoing this as far as our special guest. So stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. Put a bookmark in it. And again, you know, if you've already subscribed, just remember there's always a second step. Once you hit the bell on the top is the one that you want to click so that you get all the notifications. Because if you don't have that, you're going to miss out on what we're talking about. Some of the giveaways, like the giveaway right there, my brother right here is going to have on September 3rd. And you're also going to miss out on interviews with dope individuals, you know, us just giving out, you know, some good information or just some good entertainment, you know, some good brotherhood, sisterhood. So without further ado, I'm going to close this off, and I wish everybody a good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. And I'll see you on Thursday at 11 p.m. for Late Night Inspiration. And until next Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's Doc Freeman signing out. Jasper the FIlmie.
All right.
We'll catch y'all. Peace.